Alan set up the company after he sold his first company with a vision to do good. In fact, he set up the company in a way that its profits are reinvested in its work so that it will do good for future generations. So even though Alan's no longer with us, the company is still there, and his legacy is immense. The number of people it employs here in Northern Ireland and in the US is sizable, and I forget the total figure, so that's credit, so you can tell me that now, it's in the thousands now. This is an incredible company with an incredible mission, and that mission is simply to improve people's lives and improve our health and to use technology to do that. And I'm delighted that Brendan Woods here from Almac can join us today to talk that through. I've given a little headline there on the background of Almac. Tell us, what do you think a little bit of the background in Almac? Where you see the company today and where it's come from?
So Almac, we're a pharmaceutical company based down in Craigavon, about 40 minutes west, or about 30 minutes west of Spruce Bay. A lot of people in Belfast probably don't know where Craigavon is. So we have about 3,600 employees. The majority of those guys are actually based down in Craigavon, about 2,500 are in Craigavon. We have a big facility in Philadelphia. Alan was very proud of the new facility in Philadelphia. We've got a facility in North Carolina. And recently we moved across to the Asian market, so we've now opened a facility in Singapore and Japan. So we're a pharmaceutical company, privately owned company. So the big thing about Almac is it is a privately owned company. It is owned by Alan Slade. Unfortunately, a couple of years back, 4 years back, Alan passed away, and he left the company to a trust. And the objective of the trust, I suppose, is really to keep the company going, so all the profits keep coming back into the company. And I think Jim, you were kind of touching on the objectives of Almac. It is all about the advancement of human health, and that's what Almac is all about. They offer services to big pharma companies like GlaxoSmithKline, like Pfizer, or small biotechs in drug discovery right through to commercialization of drugs, and it is all about the advancement of human health.
And it's a lovely mission to have, the advancement of human health. A lot of big corporations have these kind of highfalutin ambitions, and sometimes you wonder whether they're just put there for show. But with Almac, it very much is at the core of the organisation, as I was saying, because of how it's been founded, how it's set up, how its profits go back into the company, and that must mean that for you, it's a great place to work. So tell us a little bit about your role at Almac, Brendan.
So probably, I'm a software engineer by trade. Learned to be a developer at 10. Buying magazines in shops and writing code on my Commodore 64. Well, I joined Almac about 12 years ago when I had up it was a software development team, but now it's system delivery, so we're a global team. We're spread out in Philadelphia, we have a team in North Carolina, a big development team here in Craigavon. And I suppose we moved from software development to actually systems delivery, so not only do we develop solutions, but we also identify, and we identify solutions that maybe somebody has that say, actually, you know what, that's a bit of technology there we can use in Almac. But for me, it's about bringing technology into Almac, and that's what my role and my team is.
Yeah, and I suppose when you say you're a pharmaceutical company, people then think of guys and girls in white coats and lab coats, and you have plenty of those. You have plenty of people on production lines as well. There's a whole range of jobs there, but also interesting, just from the technology point of view, the IT bit, the programming, the coding, that is so vital now, and how it connects with everything else that you do.
So, and that's the key point, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're actually involved in this. When I think of a pharmaceutical company, I do think of the guys in the labs and the microscopes, and they're trying to identify new drugs. And I remember the first day I drove past Almac, and I seen a big factory, and I thought, what's that place in there? It looks really impressive. But it looks like a big factory. So I either think of Almac as production workers or as chemists, but technology plays a big part in what we do. And the big story that I would tell around that, Jim, is it takes 12 years and £1.7 billion to get a drug from discovery right through to commercialization, and that's a long time for the motor neuron diseases and the cancers. Drugs that still don't have a cure yet, so it's a long time and a lot of money. And I'm looking at technology as if you think about the Almac pitch, it's the advancement of human health, and I put the acceleration in front of that. So we want to accelerate the advancement of human health by using big data analytics, by whatever technology, by introducing technology and innovation to reduce the cost and reduce the timelines. So that's where I see our guys.
So yeah, it's like everything in this tech world now, it is, as you say, acceleration. It's a word we hear a lot. It's just everything's starting to move faster and faster and faster. But in your case, that's a fun mission. It's a rewarding mission because you're accelerating the advancement of human health. So give us an idea of some of, what does that actually mean? What are any big interesting projects underway? That could give us an idea of what's coming up.
So I have. So we're actually on a stand here out of the front of our demo and two different examples of where Almac and technology is accelerating human health. So part of what Almac do, we're involved in logistics. So it's the manufacturing and distribution of drugs all over the world, and we do that on behalf of big pharma and small biotech. So for a clinical trial, for example, what we would have done in the past for a clinical trial is bulk manufacture, bulk distribution, and then for us it's about get the right drug to the right patient at the right time, so the drug will be there for the patient. But what would happen at the end of the study is there'll be a lot of wastage, a lot of drug would then be returned to Almac and get destroyed. So you can see the cost in overproducing, over-shipping, over-returns, and then destruction. So there's a massive cost there. So we've identified, it's actually a massive what's the word I'm looking for here? Differentiator for Almac to its competitors to say, look, technology, we're using predictive analytics to predict the number of patients that are going to be involved and enrolled and return back to our clinical trial. So we can predict the right amount of drug to manufacture, the right amount of drug to ship. So we're going to the big pharma and small biotech to say, you know what, come to Almac, use our technology, less waste, lower the cost. So that's an example where we're chipping away at that 1.7 billion pounds.
That's a big
number.
chip back, yeah.
And that's technology to chip away at that. And we've got another example here, and it's another key part of Almac is a key part of where medicine is going is in the personalised medicine to determine which drug is going to work for you. And I'm going to go back and say the right drug, the right place, the right time. And if you're sick and if you've got cancer, well look, we'll try this drug, we'll see how it goes, we'll try this drug. But some of the work we're doing in identifying biomarkers to associate the patient with the right drug, so you're getting the drug that the drug's going to work for you. And that's using big data analytics, and that's a massive project for us. And we're actually synergies going on with other local companies here in Belfast, where that data analytics is, the processing, it takes us maybe 2 weeks for one process. And we have that worked down to 2 hours now, so that's us chipping away at the 12 years where we can take, that 2 week process now takes 2 hours, not all adds to that. Continue.
And of course, yeah, and doing that just in terms of building up other skills in the economy here, because Almac now is at that size, I suppose, the other companies you're working with, some of them are based here locally, the companies that are helping you crunch that data, so they're able to grow, get experience working with you, and then hopefully with business elsewhere, so it all feeds, hopefully, growth in the economy.
Absolutely, it's the example that I was talking about. Analytic Engines are a little small company. They're based up near Queens. They're probably a breakaway from Queens, and some of the work and synergies that we do with the local companies has been really good. So a big company like Almac that's worth $500 million or close to $1 billion now to work and have the smaller companies, and we need them as much as they need us.
And so just tell us a little bit about maybe some of the job opportunities that are there at Almac at the moment.
Okay, so my primary focus here is to talk about technology and the technology jobs in Almac, and I want people to understand that there are technology jobs in Almac. So developers, I've got about 50 to 60 software engineering jobs in Almac, Java type developers. So it's a huge software engineers is a massive career in Almac, and we're always crying out looking for the guys. So we're competing with the Liberties and the Citibanks, and trying to get Java developers is pretty hard to do. But even moving out from development, testing. So if you think about what we do, there's a patient at the end of the line getting the drug. So our software and our IT solutions need to be correct. So testing, QA people, we're always on the lookout for QA people as well. And we're doing a lot of automation with that as well. I want to give a quick example of it's not just coming in and here test this piece of software. Last year when we when we opened up our Singapore facility, the IT implementation of that and the testing of the IT implementation of that had taken 30 people 20 weeks just to test that system alone. And that was a massive cost. We had to go to the business and ask for an end of 30 people. And you can imagine the cost around that. And we're going to open up other facilities next year and so on. So there's a lot of expansion within Almac. And I don't want to be going back to them going, well, I need another 30 people for 20 weeks. So I've asked the test team, and I said, you know what guys, see that test, I want that automated. And now we have all that all automated so actually we do that for every release now that scale of testing now takes 2 days. And it's all automated. Just hit a button and at the end of the 2 days they get a test result. So there's the developers, the testers, architects, and even taking that right into the infrastructure. We have 2 massive data centers in Almac. We need the infrastructure guys to look after it. We need the DBAs, the database guys to look after it. And then we have the desktops. There are 2,500 desktops in Almac, so we need people just to make sure that every desktop is working and the support around all of that. So there's a massive number of IT jobs in Almac that are, the guys are out here on the Almac stand. We've got a web page called Almac Recruiter on Facebook. Guys who go and like it and register their interest. That's the way they can stand.
So it's a great opportunity for anybody to go and speak to Brennan and the guys at the stand there. And in fact, I should say as well, Brennan, that you don't have to be ready for employment just yet. If it's just something you're thinking about, they should go and talk to you.
Well, I would always encourage anybody, I'm actually talking to my 14-year-old daughter to go for a career for software engineering. I think it's a great career to be in. But we do a lot of work now with Queen's University, Georgetown. We take the guys in at placement year, and that's working really well for us because not only are they coming in and I'm getting value out of them, and they're learning a bit about software engineering and working in an organisation that has processes and is regulated. But they're taking the word Almac back to the universities and they're spreading around. Come on guys, Almac is a great company to work in. Good, they teach a lot of good software opportunities and so on in that organisation. So we do spread that out.
So you're ready for a chat out there as well, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen, big thank you to Brendan Woods from Almac.